right, check it out, 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 check it out. This is what we got going today. All right, so number one, let me go ahead and just kick off this disclaimer for y'all. First of all, to kick it off the right way. All right. With this podcast, make a culture move, especially top of the top with King Phillip. You know, this podcast is a experience based forum. I'm gonna say that right there. You know what I mean? Meaning we didn't have to go do all the research. We didn't have to go find and subscribe to all the data just to prove a point. We are the data. All right, we are the data that people use to prove the points. So with that being said, if we say anything that'll make you feel some kind of way, we ask you not to be disrespectful or any kind of way like that, but please evaluate yourself and why what was said made you feel that way. All right, there's personal growth in that statement, not no disrespectful shit. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, we live, baby. You know what I mean? All the way live. You know what I mean? Tell back. You know what I'm 10-bit. All right. So this is what we got going. If you haven't, y'all know what we about to do. You know what I mean? We about to go through our little thing right here, right now. All right. If you have not, check out the Facebook page. I mean, not the Facebook. Check out our website, makeachessmove.org. You know, if you feel encouraged or want to make a donation, by all means, it's on there. You can go ahead and do that way. But you know what I mean? The thing is, we push people to utilize that toolkit. There's a toolkit on that website that you can just simply download pictures, download the statements, and send it onto your platform, send it to your emails, whatever you want to do to drive people to there to make a donation. You know what I mean? So go ahead and check out the website. Just scroll through that joint. It's kind of fancy. You know what I mean? All right. Also, facebook.com/Malcolm303. Told you this, told you that, told you all this before. Everything is /Malcolm303. All right, check out the Instagram /Malcolm303. We got our Twitter thing booming. You know what I mean? Same thing. And we got a Pinterest. You know, we booming. All right, so check it out. You'll be surprised the different material that you'll see on different pages. All right, so this morning, and mind you too, I still got my Joe too. You know, really it's my tea this morning. You know what I mean? I'm still banging out with my tea. You know, so this morning, our conversation, oh man, this is the thing. Like I said too, with our Make a Culture Move podcast, we are looking at the destructive behaviors within our community, that we're not saying anything about, that we just tend to shrug it off like it's a problem, like it's not a problem, when it is clearly a problem. All right. And one of those problems that I'm speaking of that we're going to talk about today, you know, this is our 12th episode. Booming. All right. Booming. This is our 12th episode. We've been lacing y'all up for a while now. You know what I mean? There's some things I want somebody to run me a Tuss Whitaker too. You know what I mean? Sure, we done running y'all a while now. So this episode, we gonna talk about CP time. All right, we're gonna talk about CP time. You know, give y'all a little background. I'm looking for my knife so I can stir my honey that's in my tea so I can do my thing effectively. All right. So this is the thing. Many people know that there's a thing in the black and brown community. Well, I don't know if the brown folks took it or owned it yet, but there's a thing in the black folks that black folks do that's called CP time. All right. Colored people time. And for those who do not know what that is, shame on you. All right. Shame on you. But colored people time is you showing up whenever you get there. All right. You show up whenever the fuck you get there. That's what colored people time is. If there's an event that starts at 3:00, you're going to be like, all right, I'm gonna get there at 4:00, 4:15. You know what I mean? Make an entrance type of thing. Not knowing this shit ain't about you. CP time. All right. We talking about CP time this morning. And again, this is a problem that many people do not see as a problem. And yes, I am very prompt as well. I am very prompt as well. And I hold that same expectations to the professionals. So when it come down to it too, when it come down to it, I'm just like where did this start? Where did it come from the point like it's not a problem? That's where I'm trying to figure it out right there. All right. When did it come down to the point that, we took in that motto, the party don't start till I walk in type of shit. You know what I mean? If the homie invite me to a birthday or to a barbecue and it starts at 3 o'clock, I beat at 3. You know what I mean? Ready to eat. Problem is, the food ain't gonna be done at 3, so I can be ready to eat. So I mean, coming back to it, we looking at CP time. I'm not looking at why people might run on CP time. I'm looking at the effects and why we are running on CP time. All right. So we're gonna get straight into it, man. We're gonna get straight into it. Because what I've came in contact with recently was that when I call people out on stuff, they feel shocked like, but we're friends. We're not supposed to talk to each other like that. We're business partners. We're not supposed to talk to each other like that. Let me say one thing about Philip Douglas. All right. Especially when it comes to business and doing anything on the professional end with Philip Douglas, Philip is very, very business. Philip takes care of his business. All right. So I'm coming back to it. If there is a business meeting that I have on my calendar, on my schedule, that I accepted that invitation. So it is I have it timed in my block. All right, throughout my day, throughout my week, I'm getting to the point where I'm scheduling every time within my block, within the day, within the week, just, in terms of managing my time. All right. Said all that to say, if I have that scheduled, I'm going to be there on time, period. All right. I'm going to be ready to go, period. And this time ready to go is me tapping in, my camera's on, I'm ready to go. I got my dry erase board over here. I got the space that I'm gonna use, you know what I mean? I got my other notes that I'm not gonna delete yet, you know what I mean? But I'm ready to go. This is in the business world. So again, when it comes to these babies, when it comes to the youth, when I say youth, again, I'm talking, really 28 and under. All right. Really 29 and under. You know what I mean? I'm going to call 29 and under youths. All right. I can accept that because they're still growing in that capacity. They haven't considered themselves professionals. They have not considered themselves professionals yet. They're still trying to get to that point where they can be professionals. All right. So I can accept them being late. I can accept them not knowing that they're supposed to call in before. I can still accept them knowing that they're supposed to call in and still not call in a few times because they're still young and they're still growing. But when we're talking about adults in the professional avenue, in the professional environment, the professional realm, I'm going to skip my first question. What is the definition of professional? That's where we're going to start. All right. What is the definition of professional? All right. That's where we're going to start. And I'm going to actually pull my phone out and find the definition verbatim of a professional, because it's beyond me how some of these professionals, quote unquote, I don't know what a professional may be. That's my thing. So What I believe a professional may be something completely different to what somebody else with a college diplomat may believe or was taught a professional is. All right. So, a professional, following an occupation as a means of livelihood or for gain. 2, of relating to or connected with profession. 3, appropriate to a profession. Engaged in one of the learned professions. All right, so let's look up professions. A vocation requiring knowledge of some department of learning or science. Any vocation or business. The body of persons engaged in occupation or calling. So we know this is a business. All right. So these people, to be called a professional, they had to achieve that to be called a professional. All right. But does that title come with the expectation of managing your time effectively? And what I mean by that is, if you get the title of being called a professional, all right, does that mean that you are expected to be on time all the time? Does that mean that you're expected to make phone calls ahead of time if you were late or if you can't make it? What is those expectations of a professional? Because again, from experience, a lot of this is experience based. Professionals are the most disrespectful motherfuckers that I work with. The higher the professional is, the higher up they are, the more disrespectful that they get when it comes to other people's time and concern. They don't give a fuck, and it's quite frankly is disrespectful to me. So when I'm saying that looking at the black and brown community, all right, and it's sad because I know that these niggas don't move the same way when they deal with these white folks out here, and that's the sad piece. For example, there was this black brother in the community, this black businessman. He got a very great name in the community. Used to work for the bank, used to do stuff in the community, very, businessman. Had a nonprofit. He was executive director of the nonprofit that they had to redo the shit. You know what I mean? I'm sitting up here. I don't think that there's one time that we had a meeting scheduled that he came on time or that he showed up at all. You know what I mean? Because majority of the time it was he wouldn't show up. He wouldn't call to say he wasn't showing up. Or he was going to be late. But majority of the time it was he didn't show up and didn't care to call me. I'm sitting up there and that motherfucker waiting 10, 15 minutes waiting for him, waiting for a phone call, waiting for a text message, waiting for something. But I've been to business meetings with this person as well, with a white person, and he's texting me to make sure, telling me, don't be late. Make sure that I'm not late to this meeting. So again, we looking at the black and brown community, and the issues and the problems that's within our community. There are a lot of black folks who will treat white folks a whole lot better, will give them they undivided attention, will not show up late at all, will see all they teeth the whole time, but will frown around their own. You know what I mean? And it's so again, coming back to professionals. If you are a professional in an environment, in a field, aren't you expected? This is my thing. This is what I grew up believing. Again, giving y'all a little background. I worked at Youth Biz from age 14 to the time I went to prison at age 23, where we taught youth business skills, leadership skills, the right way to do shit. All right. They told us to be prompt, to be punctual, to be on time, how bad it looks if you were late. We are teaching the other youth to be punctual, to be on time, to don't be late. It's a bad look. To now I'm in the actual on a higher leadership side of shit, and you can be late all the fuck you want to. Whatever the fuck. The party's still gonna go. If you whatever you missed out, that's what you missed out. And the thing is it's crazy because when I bring it up, you know what I mean? I'm seen as the bad guy. Again, I'm seen as the bad guy, So if we have a meeting that's supposed to start at 4 o'clock and people are not there, I'm the only one in that meeting. For one, it's not a meeting that I set up. So for me to be the first one in a meeting that I did not set up, and these, again, mind you, these is black folks. These is black folks I'm dealing with. All right. Y'all know I'm all for, period. But at the same time, y'all be on some fucked up bullshit. And it's fucked up because y'all don't think it's a problem. And y'all allow every excuse in the book to be to be a reason why you can't uphold your nuts and be on time when you say you're supposed to be on time. That's what it come down to as a business, as a professional. So me, is the expectation of holding folks accountable really a reality? Folks don't want to be held accountable. And that's the truth of the matter. If you were late, you don't want to hear somebody saying something subliminally about you, especially when you was late. But the thing is, it's not just about you. I'm in a room where everybody was late except for the Macam team. Shout out to the Macam team. You know what I mean? Period. So I'm just sip my tea on that one right there. Because when I mean, and I say folks don't want to be held accountable because of the fact they always, what I mean by that is they always provide some kind of excuse, some kind of I mean, just some kind of excuse for why they were late or why they couldn't be on time. That's just me. I work better with people who are on time. I work better with people who are respectful of other people's times. You know what I mean? And again, boom. Cuzzo, you could not have said it any better. Expectations lead to disappointment. You can't make someone care more than they do, man. I mean, it comes down to working with individuals too, though. Because if they're showing that they can't be on time for these kind of points right here, right now with adults, then I'm like, how are you going to be on time when these babies call on us? You know what I mean? If these babies is calling you and they want to meet with you at a specific time that y'all had set and you are not available or you're not there on time because a family issue or something came up or there's something that, what kind of relationship are you going to build with that youth? More importantly, what kind of example are you showing to that youth as a professional? I'm just asking these questions because it's fucked up. Every excuse in the book is fucked up. And that's a problem that people don't see as a problem, that many people don't see as a problem. They see it as a means to provide an excuse to the problem instead of managing their time a little bit more effectively. Because that's what it comes down to as professionals. As professionals, one of our skills as professionals is time management. We must know how to manage our time effectively. We must know how to get the most out of our time every day. We got to maximize that. We only get 24 hours in a day. How can I get the most out of my 24 hours? We only get 168 hours in a week. How can I get the most out of that? Especially when I know I sleep such and such amount, it comes back down to how are we maximizing our time? And I'm getting out of the point where I'm not using, like, I am using my calendar. I am using my schedule now. I've let down plenty people because because I wasn't using my schedule. I tried to keep everything up here, and I ended up dropping the ball plenty of times. I know black folks who do that. They don't think they need a schedule. They don't think they need to plan. They don't think they need to write the shit down. They think they can just keep it all up in here. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. You're going to drop. You're going to lose something. Our brain can only expand to so much. We can only keep so much retained. We will drop the ball. And I say that with confidence. I can play a whole game of chess in my head. I might lose, but I will know where every piece is on that board every time I move before I move. I can play a game blindfolded. All right. I'm saying all this to say, I don't know, man. And yes, you are right. I do know, nobody is perfect. You know what I mean? And it's, I set a bar, and I don't even think it's high. It's something that's very realistic. And if we all accept a meeting, I don't know. Nobody is perfect. I agree. But at the same time, too, that excuse is for these babies out here. You know what I mean? That excuse will get them babies like, yeah, you right. But as a professional, as an adult, as a person who got their college diploma, to not be able to be on time when they're expected to be on time, and they got their college diploma, they getting paid the big bucks, and they got their college diploma, and they can't be on time. They can't manage effectively because they have another business, or they doing other meetings, or they got kids and they got babies and stuff like that. So that bar is, it's not high. It's an expectation of black folks being on time when, especially if I'm in a meeting, because I'm gonna say something. I will say something. And it's unfair because I shouldn't have to say anything to other adults. These are adults that I feel like I'm having to challenge. I'm having to see, like, come on, man, what's going on? Why can't we be on time? Like, is this really the way that we want to show the example for our babies? This is what I'm getting to. This is exactly what I'm getting to. My babies, they gonna know that daddy is on time and early. Not part of the days, not half of the days, but all the days. All right. He's early. They're going to mimic. That's going to be a reflection. They're going to want to take that on as well. That's just my assumption. And they know the importance of that too. You know what I mean? Yes, you are. Yes, you are right. You know what I mean? They will know the importance of that too. So if it coming down to that, if you're going to events with your kids and it's coming to the point where our kids, they're going to know what time it is. You know what I mean? In terms of what time we supposed to be there. We still here. We still ain't left, and the party started already. They're going to start seeing this stuff. They're going to start seeing that when we get there, that the party's almost over. That the cake is already being cut. Happy birthday has already been sang. They're going to start to take that on. That's what I'm getting to. You know what I mean? These babies, they're going to start to believe that If mom and dad is always late, then that's not a problem. Time is not affected. Time is not a factor. I mean, other people's time don't matter. My time is the only time that matters. I know people don't think that, but our actions, I know people don't say that, but our actions say that. And it's sad because people, it's coming to the point where we have to plan according to how black folks move. And I mean by that is if I host an event at 1 o'clock, all right, I know for one, black folks is, they're going to show up whenever they show up. And the thing is, we host these events and we have an agenda. So within every time, every incremental, every 5 minutes, there's something that's going to be expected. There's something that we want to make sure that our audience gets. So I mean, when you come in at a time that's like, it's very disrespectful. Like this is, this is, and my thing is, I hate being late. If I'm late, I won't go, period. That's how I feel about anything. If I'm looking at my time and if I'm seeing like, okay, if I got to be there in 15 minutes and if I still haven't left the house and the house is a 20-minute drive from where I need to go, I'm going to make that phone call, hoping that I get their voicemail. I'm going to leave a message. You know what I mean? And boom, I shoot them a text message right after I leave a voice message. I hate being late. I'd rather not show. I'd rather not show than to show up late. That's just me. That's just me personally. You know what I mean? So let's come back and look at our first two questions. So this question is: the expectation of holding folks accountable really a reality? Folks, they want to be held accountable, but they don't want to be held accountable. They will always have a problem with constructive feedback. And that's what I try to provide. I know I fail a lot of the times trying to give folks constructive feedback because of how I say certain things when I'm not trying to say it like that, but goodness, help me out. Goodness. All right. Is it really a reality? Question 2. This really question 1. What is the definition of a professional? Does the professional title come with the expectation of managing your time effectively? Does that come with the expectation that you're never going to be late? Does that come with the expectation that if you are late or if you don't show up, you're going to call and make that communication? You're going to communicate. I know that communication is a big thing too. You know what I mean? Even if you don't show up on time, communicate. You know what I mean? And that's a part of our solutions because we do look at the issues within our community, but we are also providing solutions as well. All right. I mean, and the thing is too, we're taught, we go to college. We're taught to, just growing up throughout school, it seems like we're taught one way, then we reach a certain level of success and forget everything that we were taught. We try to create a new way of moving, a new, what they call it, a modus operandi or something like that. A new operation, a new way of living, a new way of moving. You know what I mean? I agree. When? Because at this pace, again, the learning curve for white folks, again, we're not talking about them, but black folks at our pace, we're not looking at that. Oh man, look at you. You just hit where I was getting ready to go. Let's call up the women. I left and called up another one on man. Hey, so I was just getting ready to go there too. I was just getting ready to go there. All right. Women, black women specifically. Black women specifically. All right. Hold on, let me. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna come back here to you. You know what I mean? Uh, Black women specifically. What is so hard about being on time? What is so hard about being on time, black women? To church, late. To college graduations, late. To doctor's appointments, late. To funerals, late. To weddings, late. If y'all know y'all gotta look a certain way, why don't you plan ahead? If you know that you gotta get the kids ready, why don't you plan ahead? Why don't you be ready and sit there at the end ready to go, just looking at the time instead of sitting at the end still pressed on time, still trying to shower and shit like that. Like, black women, as much as I love y'all, the party don't start when y'all walk in. It's very disrespectful. Y'all may not see it as disrespectful. Y'all may not care at all. And that's fucked up. I love black women. I see at a point, I'm like, shit, there ain't nothing wrong that I can see with black women. Even though y'all late to whatever the fuck. Except for, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna go there, but black women. Black women. I ain't gonna go too much with. I ain't gonna. I mean, yes, I am. I mean, I just wanna hear one of them say something because I've heard a few this morning just automatically own that. Like, oh yeah, I definitely have that problem. That is definitely gonna. You know what I mean? That's definitely something I gotta work on. You know what I mean? Like they own it. They know it's a problem, but they're not putting in the steps to correct it. Why? This is an issue within the black and brown community, and that is an issue within black women. I have a, the thing is too, you know, even when I was dating, I didn't, I'm not big on waiting. That is not my steez at all. At all. It don't matter how fine you think you is. All right. I will bone out. I will leave. I will not call. I will come on, don't waste my time. That's one thing that I learned while in prison, the value of time. And I don't think being out here in the world, you can learn that. I do not think that you can learn the true value of time being out here in the world. And it's truly frustrating when I see men who have done time, who have went to prison, still don't know the value of time. Still don't know the value of time. So there's so many expectations that, again, like James has said, you know what I mean? Expectations lead to disappointment. You can make someone care more than they do. And what did Nip say? You know what I mean? I just been seeing that fly around. You can't put your expectations of me on me. You know what I mean? On me. You cannot put your expectations of me on me. Is that problematic? If we are set to be on time, or if we are supposed to schedule or do something that starts at a specific time, and if I expect you to be there ready at that specific time, is that thinking problematic? All right. So let's go ahead and look at our last question. I told you I come with three bangers. All right. My last question. So we looked at what the definition of professionalism is, and does that title automatically come with certain expectations of managing your time effectively? We looked at the expectation of holding folks accountable. Is that really a reality? And then the last question: when does it become disrespectful? At what level of success? First of all, when does it become disrespectful? Is it 5 minutes late? Is it 10 minutes late? Is it 20 minutes late? Is it you do it one time? Is it you do it two times? Is it something that happens all the time? When does it become disrespectful? Some of y'all are probably not thinking about this. If you are one of those who come in late, you know what I mean? A high percentage of the time, all right? I can't even fix my mouth to, like, I'm trying to fix the words to figure out, like, let me try this again. Like, man. If you come in late a high percentage of the time, all right, again, let's look at the question. When does it become disrespectful? All right, I can't find the words. I have problems sometimes with finding the words, and I never complete sentences. You know what I mean? So um, I'm asking that because in my perspective, from my point of view, if I meet with somebody that we have a scheduled time with, and if that person is late, I find that to be very disrespectful. With communication, it's very disrespectful. Without communication, with communication, it's still disrespectful. Without communication, it's very, very disrespectful. And that's something that, you know what I mean? So James, he has said the same thing: when it's simply not communicated the first time, it's disrespectful. You know what I mean? And he said for the women's priorities are just different. I don't know, man. I don't know. Y'all allowing excuses for what? For what? For something that people, and especially in these times, if we have a Zoom meeting, if we have a Google meeting, all you got to do, my nigga, is push the phone button. Like, how do you wait for 4:03 to realize, oh, you got a meeting? Or how do you wait for if you had another meeting that is running back to back? Problematic. That's not managing your time effectively. But if you have another meeting that's running back to back, you should let them know that you have to leave 5-10 minutes early because you have another meeting to attend to. Get everything that you need to get out of that meeting before your next meeting starts, so you still ain't late. It's just a tap of the button. Y'all niggas is allowing excuses, especially in this business realm, in the business environment. Just a tap of the button. Y'all letting the tap of the button, y'all allowing people who all they have to do is tap their button, and they still late, and that's all they have to do. Like, nigga, you can be on the toilet, turn your camera off, tap the button. I guess you gotta wait until you finish shitting, huh? I guess we all different. You know what I mean? The cut that the cloth that I'm cut from, shit. We gonna take a shit with the camera on. What you mean? We just gonna have that joint pointed up to the ceiling. What you mean? I ain't gonna miss nothing. So, um, I know that's right. You said no mercy, man, and that's the cold part, and that's the cold part too, because it's hard to find that woman who will be and who will be on time, who will know how to truly respect time, and that's what it come down to. You know what I mean? I mean, from my, again, this is my perspective. We try. I'm trying to be more inclusive. So before I come in and do the show, I will go live for about an hour just to tap in with folks, see if they have some questions that they want to ask. So it's just not my perspective. So y'all ain't just hear me blabber. For one, I'm not a talker. If y'all ain't figured that out yet, you know what I mean? This is the most y'all probably ever heard me talk. However long we've been acquainted, probably even family at an adult level. You know what I mean? At an adult level. All right. So I'm saying that to say I'm being inclusive. I want to hear what questions y'all got. I want to hear what stance y'all take. I want to hear these women's come in and hold their nuts like, nigga, I ain't got to show up on time for nothing. Like, why not? You know what I mean? I want to hear, like, why not? If you're invited, why do you feel you don't have to show up on time? Why do you feel like you can show up when you walk in? Why do you feel like you can get ready at 3 o'clock when it starts at 3 o'clock? Why do you feel this certain way? Why do you feel like that is not destructive behavior in our community that gets passed generationally? All right, aren't we trying to break these generational curses or not? That's all I'm trying to see. I know my cousin JD, Jimmy King of the city, you know what I mean? James Douglas, I know he, for one, standing up, holding his nuts, trying to break all these generational curses that we coming from, period. I know myself, I'm doing my thing too. But at the same time, there's not a lot of black folks who care enough to break these curses. Again, this is something as simple as if your mom smoked with you while she was pregnant, and if they were smoking in the house while you were a baby and all throughout growing up and stuff like that, that's something small that you can change, baby. That is something small and simple that these little girls out here having babies and stuff can change. You don't have to be out there smoking in front of your baby. You don't have to be out there giving your kids, you know what I mean, preconditions. Give these little niggas a chance, cuz. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. It's just a little bit of a chance. You know what I mean? I mean, explain. What do you mean? But if they weren't invited, then women aren't getting the same opportunity as men. What do you mean? I got an idea of what you mean, but what do you mean? You know what I mean? Again, we looking at, this is our last question. All right? This is our last question. When does it become disrespectful? This is our last question. When does it become disrespectful? All right. I haven't touched into the second end of that question, but the first part, when does it become disrespectful? All right. Okay. 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 I mean, that's shit. System. That's what it is. I mean, okay. I mean, I say a play-by-play basis. You know what I mean? And again, you can show respect. You don't have to tell somebody that you respect them. You can show them. That's the bottom line too. So we still invite and they are still late. So the bottom line is, when does it become disrespectful? Of course, and yes, I agree with you. It's not just women. It isn't. It is not just women, and it's not just black women. I'm gonna put that out there like that. But I've only dealt with black women on this level, so I don't know if white women, take forever to get dressed. I don't know if they wait for the last minute to start getting, showered and getting kids and stuff ready like that. I don't know how Asian women, get up and I don't know how Mexican women do. You know what I mean? I don't know that. I deal with black women on that level. So when it comes to, I know it's not just women. I know it's not just black women. I know it's not just, us as a culture that's struggling through this, but it is us as a culture that I'm seeing, that I can identify, that I was once, that, I felt like shit. The party don't start till I walk in myself for a minute before I went to prison. Again, I didn't realize the true value of time until that. And I said it before, I don't think you can truly realize the true value of time out here in this world. That's just my personal opinion. All right? That's just my personal opinion. Okay, so coming back to our third question, the back end. At what level of success do you have to achieve to not give a fuck about others' time? At what level of success do you have to achieve to not care about others' time? I asked that with this old Snoop clip that I seen, where he was supposed to show up for an interview at a certain time, and the person who was interviewing him was saying, well, you were supposed to be here, 2 hours ago. And Snoop was like, nigga, be glad I'm here. What the fuck? Nigga, be glad I'm here. You know what I mean? So, so what level of success do you have to achieve to not give a fuck about other people's time? You know what I mean? And some of us, again, I'm speaking specifically experience based. What I see, what I encounter, what I do, this type of stuff. Some of us haven't experienced that level of success that Snoop have, but they will still carry and manage themselves like they have. Some of us came from an environment where we were at the top. We were top dogs. And now we moved into a different environment, a different industry of work where we're not the top dog, but we still try to carry ourselves like we are the top dogs. Some of us, just don't flat out care. And that's fine. That is all fine. Because the thing is, what we're doing is pointing out the solutions. We're pointing out the problems and we're pointing out the solutions, All right. Boom. Because you could not have said it any better. Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. Until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. Period. I'm going to go ahead and bust that again one time. Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. Until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. And some of us be sitting around here pulling our fingers and shit. Some of us don't know what to do with the time that we're given. So what do? We go join the army. You know what I mean? We go head first into that bullshit. Until you value yourself. And that was I'm gonna say too, even looking at that point, valuing yourself. Many of us don't know what that looked like. First of all, many of us don't know how to value ourselves. We don't know what steps to take to value ourselves. We don't know if valuing ourselves right now and what we're doing is the correct way to value ourselves. But who's to say what's correct and what's not? Who's to say what's correct and what's not? That's, So again, when does being late to people's shit become disrespectful? And secondly, at what level of success do you have to achieve to not give a fuck about others' time? All right. That's where we at with it. That's where we at with it. You know what I mean? So I always like to, share a little bit about myself while I'm in here and stuff with y'all. Some people don't know I do my thing with the poetry thing. You know what I mean? I share a little poetry every now and again. And, you know, I haven't written a poem. I haven't sat down and wrote a poem. Dang, I'm trying to see when was the last time I sat down and banged one out, because the only reason I write is when I'm in an emotional space. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's one of those emotional spaces that words, I can't do words. You know what I mean? Best thing for me to do is write. You know what I mean? I also I'm I'm gonna share Tuss Whitaker with y'all, you know what I mean? And I'm sure I might be the only one who do this. You know what I mean? But a quick little Tuss Whitaker for y'all is after I finish boo-booing, I always stand up to pee after I wipe myself. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't know that about your boy, huh? I never sit down and pee. That's something that I can't do. And I don't know, it's all I always done it. Like, I will finish boo-booing and then I will stand up and pee. You know what I mean? So that's a little Tuss Whitaker I want to share with y'all before we get on up out of here. You know what I mean? Again, solutions now. Let's look at solutions. I was getting ready to take off without giving y'all some solutions. You know what I mean? And I kind of alluded to solutions earlier. In order to be on time, I mean, I see it cut as clear as day. I see it being this simple. Do stuff earlier. All right. If you're used to getting ready at 11 o'clock for a party that starts at 2 and you're always late, try getting ready at 10. Try 10:30. If you're always late 10 minutes, try getting ready 10 minutes earlier. If the kids give you hard time, if you got a herd of babies, you know what I mean, that you got to get ready by yourself and stuff like that, I mean, you still got to get them ready. Move earlier. Move around a little earlier. Set that time in your schedule. And it's okay. At first, I was like, man, I ain't gonna ever, because when I heard a dude tell me that he has every minute of his schedule blocked out and scheduled, like to the point where he's eating, to the point where he's spending time with his kids, is all in his schedule. I was like, nigga, you sound crazy as hell. I ain't gonna schedule my time out like that, nigga. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it when I feel like doing it, period. And that was that. But me, now I'm starting to move in that capacity, and it's starting to make my time more effective. I'm starting to be more efficient with my time. You know what I mean? Hey, I love you too, cuz I'm gonna talk to you in a bit. Man, that's what I'm saying. So it's it makes managing my time a little better. You know what I mean? Another solution. My cousin, he said map out the week before. All right, simple solution. You know what I mean? Some people they have 5-minute blocks the whole day. 5-minute increments. Bill Gates, his is in 15-minute chunks. So successful people, I'm gonna say that's what it's leading to, because the guy who I was just speaking of, He is successful, and I'm just not talking about monetary wise, but he do have millions. I'm talking about success in terms of how he's living and giving back. All right. Successful people do that. And I'm seeing how successful people are moving to achieve the success that they got. And I'm starting to adapt onto some of what they were doing and to some of what they are doing. It only makes sense. It wouldn't be Malcolm to not do what makes the most sense. All right. And y'all know I'm Malcolm, not half the days, not part of the days, but all the days. You know what I mean? So, again, solutions. Solutions. Time management. That's my solution. If you do not know what time management is just the best way to manage the 24 hours in your day. That's my definition of time management. You're managing your 24 hours the best way possible every day. All right. Buy a planner. Use your schedule on your phones. You know what I mean? Write down little meetings that you got so you don't forget. Be on time. It's not hard. This is something that as a culture, as black folks, we can wipe that CP time shit out. You know what I mean? That shit ain't for us. That's not our culture. All right. That is not our culture. I don't know where that shit came from. I don't know who adapted that and put that on us. But that's not our culture. And I'm challenging all black folks who's tapped in to share with another black folk that how important it is to be on time as a culture. All right. I'm going to challenge the black folks on here to challenge other black folks to challenge other black folks and themselves to not be late to nothing. Always be early, at least 5 minutes, early every meeting. Even if it's you just sitting in front of your phone or in front of the computer 5 minutes before the meeting starts. You don't have to be in a meeting by yourself alone. I don't even do that, but I am there watching my time tick. You know what I mean? I'm sitting up there watching the time tick. I'm sitting up there watching the time. Oh, boom, it's time. Boom, I'm on. I can watch time tick. All right, time is we can get ahead. We can manage our time effectively. We don't need no excuses, black folks, black men, black women. We don't need no excuses. This ain't our culture. All right. So I got a little bit more Joe, but I ain't got no more. You know what I mean? That's it for me, man. Tap in on Thursday. We're gonna bang out another one. Also, our workshops. So we are hosting workshops next week for ages 8 to 14-year-olds. If you have been through a workshop with us before, this is not for you. You cannot come again. All right, you will get paid $40 just to come learn with us per workshop. $40 per workshop just to come learn with us. So you can walk out with 120. All right. So we're gonna break that down a little bit more while we get into it. All right, but that's all I got. All right, peace.